So this is our second time to Hunting Island. Hunting Island was one of our first trips that we ever took once we got the camper.
Yeah, it was number 4 or something.
So we never put a video out about it. Not really sure why I didn't, but...
Well, and it was like we might not have all the stuff.
Yeah, so anyway, we're going to kind of cover the island, our experience this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about what we experienced that August, and I hope you enjoy this video.
Again, this is our second trip, different season. We came in August of 2020, and we might have a few pictures and some stuff on that, but not a full video. And then we were able to come in January, long weekend, and really have enjoyed it. The weather has been mild.
Yeah, it's
cold, but
it's a very different experience here in the winter versus the summer. During the summer, there's a lot of bugs.
A lot of bugs, and more wildlife. We saw more. We saw a lot of deer when we were here before.
Raccoons. The raccoons here are kind of famous.
Yeah.
They're a little aggressive. Make sure you keep your trash picked up.
Yep.
And
we saw alligators swimming in the ponds and things like that. And most of that stuff is either moving slower or they're just, kind of dormant right now.
But there's a reason why this is one of the more popular parks in the state. It is a beautiful place. It's a long island that's kind of broken up into a couple different sections. The campground is what you first experience when you get here. Then down the road a little ways is the main office and the lighthouse. And it's
more public beach. Like, it's got more of the beach park. If you were coming for the day, that's
where you would go.
That's mostly where you would go. Like, it's I'm going to the beach section. There's paved parking. For the most part, there's some non-paved. It's a beautiful big beach because it's very shallow, very far out. It was where you would come for beach or shelling, wildlife, checking things out. The lighthouse is there.
The lighthouse is there. It's a historic lighthouse built in the 1800s. And when you go to the main office, there's a visitor center there. There's actually some videos where they talk about the history of the
island, of the lighthouse, all of it.
Right. It's a Civilian Conservation Corps park. So there's a section there where they talk about the Civilian Conservation Corps and what all they did.
There's even a model of the old bridge. And we came the first time, they were actually building the new bridge. And then the old bridge was a turn-style drawbridge. And so there's a model of that actually moves and shows you how it works. And it was a Civilian Conservation Corps bridge as well.
Yeah. And when we came in August, 2020, the lighthouse was open for visitors. It is presently not open for visitors because there's some safety issues.
And it hadn't had any kind of anything besides small maintenance in 100 years. They said this is their first renovation project. And it's cast iron, so it's not like it's just stonework or...
So as of right now, there is a little display in the visitor center where you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to go inside.
Yeah, a little simulated, like we're walking up the steps, we're seeing some views.
What the view is. It's a really neat lighthouse. So hopefully they'll get it back open here in a couple years once they get the repairs made.
I think they said the goal was like late summer 25.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
But how things like that go. You get into something, it seems like it takes longer.
That's true. Then the third section of the park is at the very end, which is the parking lot for the Nature Center, and then there's a fishing pier there, and then kind of a fun little adventure from there. There's a hiking trail that takes you back through the maritime forest, over a bridge onto an island, kind of in its own self, where they call it the Boneyard Beach.
And it is the natural beach, like it's the eroded trees that are falling over. It reminds you of something out of a sci-fi movie in some respects.
And we noticed the difference from when we were here in August of 2020 versus now. It's January of 2024. A lot of the trees that were standing in 2020 aren't there now. From different storms, different erosion, those trees have fallen, and a lot of those trees that we climbed over in 2020 are now completely gone. So it's
sunken or
just
gone.
The life cycle of the island. which one of the other displays I saw at the visitor center, they did a really neat job of taking old maps and kind of overlaying them so you could see how the island has changed over the years. And years ago it used to be much wider, now it's more narrow. So it's kind of interesting to see how.
Well, and even the original piece of the lighthouse was like almost a half a mile or whatever more in the water than the new one, new being 1875.
And it got moved.
And it got demolished by a storm.
Come back to the nature center, they just did an addition. So when we came in 2020, they had the display with the alligators and the turtles.
And some like glass lizards and some other things.
But they've now added on a big section next to it where they have a fish tank. They also have some snakes on display, along with another static display right now of some bones and skeletons, some stuff of a
skins, a big turtle head, a loggerhead sea turtle head is in there, as well as like a big alligator head.
And they have several events at the Nature Center throughout the week. We were able to go see the alligator, meet the alligator, where they took the alligator out. We got to pet it. That was pretty
neat. And alligators right now, they only keep them till they're right at 3 feet, and they send them back to Alligator Adventure, like most of the nature centers, whether public or private, do on the coast of South Carolina. But right now they're called shrimp and grits. Yes. And they're like 18 inches long, and they're really cute. Yeah. So it you know, we always say, take advantage of what's at the parks. It's included with your price of admission. There had been, like I said, during the summer, there's walks with the rangers. There's several naturalists on staff here. They do an amazing job. They know all about the animals that are in there. They know about all the flora and fauna here. They can tell you all about the parks. Like we were talking about seeing sand dollars, and she told us how to figure out if they were alive and when we need to toss them back, where on the beach they might be, if they were already dying or dead, and that we could keep those, and that these are where they are here. They're good. You should throw them back in. And so that's just really cool knowledge for not only us, but the kids, and knowing how to be responsible, you know, in nature, and what you can pick up and be like excited about. I know even today, my daughter and I were out looking at the sunrise and picked up. I have never found sea olive. I think is what it's called. We'll find out the real name, and he'll put it on there. But in looking, because we talked to naturalists, I immediately looked to see if it had something live in it.
And it did not. You found a couple that did not.
I found one that did, and I was very disheartened because I had never found one before that was whole. And then, but I threw it back and was graciously rewarded with a bigger one that was empty a little later on. But it's great to take advantage of those opportunities with the naturalist to learn more about where you are, learn more about the island, or wherever your adventure is.
The rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many. When the old one's gone under the night.
The island itself is actually kind of famous. Forrest Gump, the movie Forrest Gump, was filmed in the greater Beaufort area. The town of Greenbow, Alabama was actually Varnville, South Carolina, inland a little bit. And the scene where they're in Vietnam and Forrest has to run everybody out was actually filmed all right here on Hunting Island. And where he kept taking everybody was the end of the lagoon. So that was the Lagoon Road. You could actually go in the middle parking lot. The very southern end of that parking lot is right where that was filmed.
And I said, we could, even now just walking around, I keep hearing Forrest Gump's voice being like, I gotta find Bubba.
That's an order. I gotta find Bubba.
So as far as the campground, there's about 102.
102 is what we saw.
Sites here. Interestingly, they start at site number 89 because this used to be an even bigger campground, but because of erosion and storms, they've lost the number of sites.
And now there's 102 RV sites, and there's like 45 tent sites.
Primitive sites. So now the primitive sites here are about as close as you're going to get to the beach in the state of South Carolina.
Oh my gosh, when we were walking, I wish I'd gotten a picture of it this morning. We were walking to go see the sunrise. You could see the sunrise over the ocean from their campsites. Like I was like, when you wake up out of the tent site, you could just step out and not even have to like go out on the beach. Just see the sunrise from here. It was, I mean, there's a dune, but it's small, and it was an amazing. Now I think that also because it's small, there's, you know, it could be flooded, it could be whatever,
Yeah,
but
that's one of the other drawbacks to the island is it does get flooded a lot whenever there's heavy rains and whenever there's storms. So you just have to be aware whenever you make reservations, especially in the fall. It's storm season. There's a possibility of being flooded here. They try and get it reopened as quickly as they can.
And the campground is in good shape in that regard. Like there's only a couple sites we've seen with like a decent sized puddle on one corner or the other, but most of them are draining back into the marsh behind us.
Just repaved here last summer, so the main road is paved. The campsites are gravel. All have 50 amp service, no full hookups. So we'll do a quick walk around right now and show you this site, and we'll be back with you here in just a second. I'll do a walk around site 123 here at Hunting Island. It's pretty unlevel side to side. I'm at the top of those Anderson levelers. It's about 4 inches. Come back here, we got 30 amp, 50 amp water. You can see a big tree behind us. See where the neighbor is here. Sorry for the noise. As I mentioned, no full hookup, so got somebody coming by. Over here on this side, you see those neighbors. It's a little muddy right there. And notice the water behind us. Let me come around and see this space. This is fresh water, so during the summer, there is a possibility of maybe some alligators being in there. So watch your dogs, keep them on a leash, don't let the kids play in the water. All in all, nice site. Probably not going to accommodate anything real big, but works well for us. You see the big beautiful trees. It's a beautiful park. So a couple things, kind of other drawbacks here. Self-service is not great.
Or non-existent generally. And the Wi-Fi is basically right at the store.
Yeah, so that could be a plus, it could be a minus, just something you need to know. The nearest store is a little bit of a ride. There's a Walmart that's I think about 14 miles in at Beaufort. But at the camp store right here at the campground, they have a lot of
basics.
You know, if you need a loaf of bread, some coffee, some
milk,
things like that. Just especially when it's not during the summertime, pay attention to store hours. They close at 6 o'clock Tuesday through Saturday, and they close at 4 o'clock on Sunday and Monday. Just know that. There are some kind of local places as you get close. On the other side of the little bridge, we stopped and had dinner because it was raining the night we got here at Johnson Creek
Tavern. JCT is the bigger letters on the sign.
It's really, really good food. Unique atmosphere. Dollar bills all over the place. There's a neat story about people that color their dollar bills and put them up, and once a year they take the dollar bills down out of a room and they either go to breast cancer or to
the honor
flights in Washington D.C. So really kind of a neat deal about how that worked. Just past that, on the other side of the road, is the Gay Fish Company, or Gay Seafood Company. I think it's Gay Fish Company. Great local seafood. They're actually the ones that provided all the shrimp in Forrest Gump when they're on the shrimping boat and they dump all the shrimp out. All those came from Gay Fish Company, and they actually have the receipt.
Yeah. Well, and the shrimping boats are just right there. I mean, you couldn't get fresher shrimp
during shrimping season.
During shrimping season, you can't get fresher shrimp than like the boat pulls up to this place.
Kind of a fun, neat thing to do. And Beaufort is just right down the road. Historic Beaufort is awesome. So if you come here for a week during the summer, there's lots of stuff to do. We really like Hunting Island.
Yeah, and lots of really unique, like we found beautiful shells.
There's also a local gentleman that will take shells and glue them together to make little faces. And he puts them out throughout the park periodically. So we haven't found any. I think these called the shoes shells. I'll put it down below, along with a little picture that I see on Facebook. So kind of fun little stuff that the locals do here.
Well, they found a couple painted rocks, and they've been here and rehid them, and just they've generally just enjoyed the sunshine. I mean, it's been a little cool, while we're here, but not. I mean, we're in short sleeves today, and not. You know,
It's January in South Carolina, so
it could be way worse.
yes. So all in all, good trip, great park. We highly suggest coming and checking out Hunting Island.
Yeah,
for
definitely put
watching.
on your list.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
There's no time to buy.